everyone, I'm Melanie Brown and welcome back to Mel's Kitchen. Tonight I'm going to show you a pretty quick and easy recipe. I had promised to show you some of my favorite things I like to do with the ramp, and so I'm going to show you a really quick and easy thing you can do. We're going to make ramp butter, so come on along. So as you can see back here behind me, I have a bowl full of ramps. I've washed them. I have them in a colander, draining off the colanders inside of a bowl to catch that water. And what I'm going to do is give them a rough chop, just to chunk them up, and then I'm going to put them in my food processor here and just chop them up. All right, so I've got my ramps. These are the ramps I was talking about. They're pretty soggy looking right now. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a chop just to chunk them up to kind of help the food processor out a little bit. As I said, I've already washed and cleaned these. Make sure you clean them really well because they do come out of the ground. And there is a lot of dirt on them. I'm going to throw them right in the food processor. I'm just going to do that with all of them and then get them chopped pretty well. Really just chopping them right now enough just to get them to fit in there rather than trying to place them in their hole. And then the food processor will do most of the work for us. Okay, that's my first round going in. All right, so those chopped up really fine. As you can see, that's what you're going for. And I'm going to go ahead and do this last few here. All right, so I've pulled my mixer over here. If you really wanted, you could do it in your food processor. You could do the whole thing right in the food processor, but I'd rather whip my butter up first. All right, so I've got about 2 pounds of butter here that I'm adding to my mixer. I'm just going to use that whisk right there to scrape that excess off of the paper. This is soft room temperature butter. That's important because if it's cold, it's not going to whip up for you. So I'm going to go ahead and open all of these, get them in here, and then I'll add the ramps to our mixture of butter after I whip this up. Okay, so I've got my 2 pounds of butter in here. I'm going to put this down, lock it, and start on a low speed and get it whipping up. And really, we're just trying to make it nice and fluffy. So I'm going to scrape that off the edge. Going to put it back down and just whip it just a little bit more. All right, it's all whipped up and you can see how it lightened up. If you didn't know better, you might even think it's cake frosting. Definitely not. So I've got here about 1.5 cups of the ramps that we chopped up, and I'm going to add those right in there. So what we're going to do is just whip this in. I'm going to add a little salt to it because we want to season the butter. And then I'm going to show you different ways you can preserve this. And by preserve, I mean like you can refrigerate it. There's a couple different ways you can freeze it. And I'll tell you a little bit about how I use it. That's probably, I'm using my hand as a measure, but that's probably about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And then I'm just going to go ahead and blend this all together. All right. So So this is whipped together pretty good. And look at that nice green color. So this butter can be used for a lot of different things. You can use it to cook with. That's the, typically what you do with it. But you can use it like to flavor, for instance, fried potatoes. Add a little bit of the ramp butter to it, and you get that ramp flavor in your potatoes. You can take, instead of making garlic bread, you could spread it with the ramp butter and make a ramp bread. You could pretty much use it on anything. You can use it to saute vegetables. If we had some morels, it's that time of year for morels, but I haven't been fortunate enough to find any yet. But this would be great to saute up some morels in, and then use them to top like some chicken or some steak. There's so many different things you can use it for. All right, so down here on my board, I have a piece of plastic wrap, maybe approximately 12 inches long. And then I have my half cup measuring cup. You really don't have to measure it if you don't want to, but half cup is equal to 1 stick of butter. So if you do this, then you know this is equivalent to a stick of butter. It's all up to you as to how you want to do that, but I'm going to fill my cup up, and I'm just going to show you how to do this one time. So I've got my cup full. I'm going to scoop it out here on my plastic. Get all of it out of there. And then here's a neat little trick. You just take this and very carefully, it's soft, very carefully roll it up gently. If you roll it up until, just very carefully roll it up, take the ends and twist them, and then do this. And then you get this little log of butter. You can kind of shape it, twist those ends up, and then you can pull them up. And then it's a nice sealed little package. You can put it in the fridge and let it firm up first if you'd like, and then drop these right into a freezer bag, and then you can pull them out as you need them. All right, so here we have our little bundle of ramp butter. So you can put this in the fridge, let it firm up. You can leave it in there and use it straight from the fridge. You could also, once it's firm, pop all your little bundles into a freezer bag, put it in the freezer, and then pull them out as you need them. You could also put this butter in a ice cube tray, fill up all the little compartments, let it freeze, pop those out, and then fill up a freezer bag with them. And then you'll be able to just use one at a time as you need them for whatever dish you're making. Anything that you would use butter, garlic, and onions in, you could substitute some of this ramp butter. And it's a good way to have this all year long, because these ramps, remember, they're only available in the spring. They can only be found in the springtime. So in the meantime, I'm going to have a little taste here. So I've got me a fresh roll. These are left from our Easter dinner. So I'm going to just spread a little bit of this ramp butter on here and give it a try. It's pretty good. So I hope you all were enjoying my videos. I hope you'll like this video, share my video, and if you've not already, please subscribe to my channel. Also, stay tuned, and I'll have some upcoming videos to show you some of the yummy things that I make with this delicious ramp butter.